These kind of 100% moves in a stock, they're not normal. But to say he has a $45 target that he has to hit by next year, that's going to be a challenge. My name is Christopher Uhl. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I was mentored by 5 of the market wizards, the best traders of all time. I've been successfully trading since 2009, and this is where we save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. So let's get into the lesson of the day. So be sure to stick around to see how this ranks out of 10. And let's get into it. So this is called, if you're a SoFi shareholder, get ready for January 27th, Ultra Squeeze.
Guys, it's Kyle. Welcome to the Stockboat YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be covering the SoFi stock. I am more excited than ever, guys, because SoFi has finally given us a Q4 earnings date on the 27th. We are literally 22 days away from the SoFi earnings. You are literally going to blink your eyes, and we are going to be in the pre-markets waiting for the numbers. And I'm telling you right now, this is the grand slam quarter, okay? This is the quarter you've been waiting for. If you've been investing in SoFi for the past couple of years, this is where they put it all together, guys. You are going to get a blowout Q4 revenue and profitability, and they're
Seems excited about SoFi. Okay, let's go look at the SoFi chart. I mean, the long-term chart, looking at it, right, from October to January has been in a super strong uptrend. In fact, it was, let's go to the low here, September 6th to today. Wow, 114%. I didn't realize it was up that much. Looks really good. Now, just so you know, there is overhead resistance up here with this order block around $18 or so, which was created all the way back. I have to go way back. It was created all the way back November 26th of 2021. So if you are looking to get into SoFi, I would definitely be aware that you do have overhead resistance up here, right? Once it gets up into this area here, it's going to struggle to get through it, right? I don't think it's going to blow out straight through it because usually order blocks create a lot of overhead resistance, but just be aware of that.
They're going to give you an amazing 2025 guidance. Remember, guys, literally a year ago when they did the Q4 earnings for 2023, they had an amazing Q4, very solid, big profits. They just went soft on the guidance, very conservative. They were still really hesitant on where rates were headed and also what the Fed was going to say. So we had a very soft Q1 and Q2 for literally 2024. I'm telling you right now, that is not going to happen for 2025. They're going to give us a blowout 2025 guidance. You know why, guys? They are running out of time. The management.
He's obviously super bullish on the stock, that's for sure.
For all of you guys that have been following this stock, follow me on the YouTube channel, they have a requirement time frame that they need to hit a $45 price target to achieve their bonus compensation. Okay, Anthony Noto, CEO specifically, has a $290 million bonus compensation package at around the $45 level, but he needs to hit it by mid-2026.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. So SoFi's trading around $15 a share right now. So it's got to triple in the next year, it sounds like. Which that's a tall order, right? Yes, it did just go up 100% since September, but those kind of moves are not normal, right? These kind of 100% moves in a stock, they're not normal. But to say he has a $45 target that he has to hit by next year, that's going to be a challenge, right? That is going to be a challenge, right? You're getting the crowd that loves $7 stocks. Now at a $15 stock, you've got less people who might be interested. And then when it goes from 15 to 30, maybe even less people, and then 30 to 45, maybe even less. I could be totally wrong, right? Of course, you can look at any stock out there, but the crowd who's bullying it up from 7 to 15, they're not the same crowd who's going to bully it up from 30 to 45.
They do not have time to be missing this quarter on guidance for 2025. They have no reason to be soft, conservative.
So basically, he's saying make up whatever numbers you can in order to make sure we hit our profit targets. And if we hit our profit targets, we still have to do whatever we can to hit our share price targets, right? There's not a perfect correlation here, right? They can still say greatest stock, or we're the greatest company of all time, we're making the most money ever, and the stock price could still fall, right? So they can make up whatever they want, and investors are really going to be the determinant on if it's going to go up or down in price.
conservative or anything like that. They need to put the pedal to the metal, guys, and give us a blowout 2025. And I think they're going to smoke these analysts on Wall Street, and the Wall Street analysts are going to be catching up for the entire year, every single quarter for 2025. So, guys, I'm telling you right now, it is going to be records across the board. If you literally do not believe me, I'm going to show you exactly what I was saying after the Q3 earnings report for those of you that were not following the channel at that time frame. Okay, the shorts came out, smoked us by like 15%, sold off the stock. I came out immediately, did a video, and guess what I said? I said 2 words: delayed reaction. And guess what happened? The smoke cleared, and literally the SoFi stock went from $9 to $17 the last 3 months of the year. Okay, I'm telling
you. Okay, so here, this earnings call must be what he's talking about here. Let's go look at that. All right, let's say this is the earnings date here, closed on that day, down 18.73% within the span of 4 days after that. Now, you really need to keep this in mind, right? If you're out here, I mean, you've got a bearish trend here, and it just went down 18%. There is no way that you are looking at this saying, oh yeah, going to the moon, right? Because just as likely as it went down 18%, it's now in a bearish trend. There's no way that you can say, yes, it's going up from this point, right? Did he get lucky? Maybe. Did he call that perfectly? He certainly did. But I don't know where he got that from, right? Other than his own incredible analyses, right? Because if you look at the stock, it had been in a downward trend for months at that point, right? And so that was just the icing on the cake for that 18% sell-off. And then it did turn around and it did go up, right? It went up quite a lot.
you right now, we're going to either have 2 options going to happen for this up.
Where I was going with that is like, if you're excited about a stock that just sells off 18%, you need to really consider what risk management is, right? If I just lost 18 cents on every dollar that I invested into a stock, I'm going to be pretty pissed. I'm not going to be excited. And I'm going to be wondering, why was my risk management so bad that in just the span of a couple of days, I lost 18%? Because me personally, I would have gotten out here at this close under the 10 EMA, the blue line right there, right? Which is a 3.5% loss. Okay. There's no guarantee that any stock turns around and goes up at that point. Never a guarantee of that. So when you watch these kind of channels, just be wary, right? He could be incredibly bullish. Clearly, he's probably a shareholder at this point, but I don't know. That kind of talk, oh, it has to go up to $45. Oh, when it sold off 18%, I told you to come back up. That makes me nervous.
Upcoming Q4. We are literally going to go up 50% over the next 2-3 months, or we're going to.
Okay, we're literally going to go up 50% over the next 2-3 months. Got it. Book it. But sell everything you got to buy SoFi because it's going to go up 50% over the next couple of months is what he's saying here. I don't subscribe to that advice. I definitely would not tell you ever that.
Going to have a 10% pullback, a massive shakeout, and then we're going to go up 50% over the next 2 months. Okay, that is where we're headed for this upcoming Q4 earnings. And guess what? In this video today, I'm going to also give you guys a early prediction. You're going to get my EPS prediction as well, exact profit that I think SoFi is going to hit. And guess what? My profitability was perfect on the Q3 earnings. I'll also show you that for those of you that have not been following the channel. So I'm telling you guys right now, I'm watching this company very clearly. I know where management's direction is. I know that.
Does he work there? Because that'd be inside trading. That'd be insider trading. He knows, right? I love it when I come across these analysis channels and they're like, I know it's going to happen. The stock price is going to go up in the next couple months, come down 10%, and then it's going to go up again 50%. And I know what management's going to do. Bro, you don't know anything. Okay, you're guessing. You're doing your best guess here.
Time frame that they need to hit these price target levels, and they don't have any time to waste right now. This is the blowout quarter. Okay, we are going to be heading into the S&P 500, specifically when we just clear over the $20 level and never come back. That's when you saw Palantir really take off, when they got the S&P 500 announcement around the $35-$40 level. And then for 2 months after that, they finally got the S&P 500 inclusion, where it actually happened. So an announcement and then an inclusion is 2 different things. Okay, and the stock went up another 50% after they got included into the S&P 500. So I'm telling you,
that's not it. I know he's excited. It's very obvious he's excited about the stock, but that's not a guarantee. First off, not a guarantee you're going to get an S&P 500. Not a guarantee that it's going to go up once it hits the S&P 500, right? Not a guarantee. And his exuberance and bullishness makes me really, really nervous, right? In fact, I have a quote by Warren Buffett. It says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This kind of rhetoric right here makes me very fearful, right? When people talk like this, it makes me extremely like You sure about that?
Right now, that is on the horizon for the next 12 months for SoFi, because they're going to be around 9 quarters of profitability in a row, by the time they get to the end of 2025. So guys, this is the quarter we've been waiting for. I'm very excited. I'm going to give you guys some numbers in today's video. And guys, I am not betting on SoFi stock to make any moves in the short term when it comes to call options. I'm playing some longer term dated, long-term leaps right now, 1.5, 2 years out. And I believe that those are going to pay out, a 1000% return, a 10x. Okay. I've done this multiple times in the past. I'm literally holding on to options right now that I bought months ago, 800% return. And I'm telling you right now, we are going to do it again. If you want access to those specific call options that I'm buying right now, I'm telling day traders do, options traders. I don't do stuff like that, guys. I like to be very conservative, 85% pure stock, and then the other 15% is the long-term options to give me that boost. I'm lining it up exactly how management is planning to line it up, for the SoFi company to get that, $300 million bonus.
Where are you getting your ideas from, right? Exactly how management's expectations. Where, like, how do you know this inside knowledge?
Bonus if they hit that $45 level in mid-2026.
Look, if they can hit that $45 level, that would be incredible, right? It really would. But I just really think that they've got, I mean, you've got to make the stock price go up 3x from where it is right now, right? That's not an easy thing to do, especially within 1 year. Can it be done? Yes. Has it been done before? Yes. But does that mean it will? Not necessarily. And then if management's out there saying whatever they can to boost the stock price, I don't know. That concerns me, as if it's like a pump and dump, right? How high can we pump this before we can dump it, right? Get our profits in bounce.
So I believe everything is going to start to play out extremely soon, guys. So do not miss it. Get inside the VIP Patreon. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a huge payoff if you just have a little bit longer time frame. Once again, guys, this is going to be an amazing video. So be sure to smash the like button, drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
This is going to be an amazing video. We're already 5 minutes deep.
And we're going to be keeping you updated daily. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, just take a look at this. One of my last videos I just posted on YouTube. I just want you guys to see, okay? We got a lot of people out there who are very concerned. I think you are full of it, but I'll be happy if you're right. I'm going to show you guys exactly why I am not full of it in this video today, and show you why my prediction, I believe, is going to hit just like it hit in Q3. And these specific earnings predictions that I'm predicting are going to give the stock, a 50% boost over the next, 90 days or so. I'm not telling you.
God, this dude is really excited about this stock. Okay, I want to do this. I want to analyze this, right? But I'm going to use it with outlier, right? So the old saying is, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful, right? Well, we built a tool that shows you when people are acting irrationally fearful or greedy, and by how much, like this guy is right here, right? So I'm going to look at these 8 things. First, I want to look at the market trend. So the market trend sets all, right? A rising tide lifts all ships. Now, the market hasn't opened yet, but when it does, it's going to open up about right here, 597. Okay. So one thing to keep in mind is the way that I determine a trend is the 10 period moving average, the blue line, under the 20 period moving average, and then price under the 50. So 10, 20, 50, I want them all stacked in the same direction. Right now, the 10 EMA is under the 20 EMA. So that's your short, your intermediate, and your long term all stacked together. That's what I want to see. When it opens up here, they're not going to have crossed back yet. It will be over the 50. So the trend of the market is still sideways at this point, right? As of last week, it was actually down, 10, 20, 50 pointing down. Now, if we go to SoFi itself, we can see 10 and 20 have crossed down. So this is starting to be a bearish trend, but this is sideways right now. Above the 50, but with the 10, 20 cross down is a sideways trend, okay? So that's the trend of the market and the trend of the stock. Now let's look at the market and sector breadth. So inside of outlier, it doesn't have enough data. SoFi doesn't have at least 4 years of data to calculate all the data inside of outlier. So what I want to look at is XLF, the financials ETF. And when I look at the market breadth of this, let me make this bigger for you. When I look at the market breadth, right, this line right here represents the number of buy signals that we have for this sector. And you can see it's plummeted. This sector here is at 22.48%. So that means basically nearly 80% of the stocks in this sector have a sell signal. However, you can see here it is starting to curl back up. And if we throw the 10 EMA on top of this, I would actually start to consider this a bullish change in sentiment on the market breadth for the XLF sector, right? All the stocks in here, which is how many stocks? Like it says it over here. Let's say it's around 300 companies, right? So that's starting to turn up. But the sector itself has a sell signal and has been drifting down for a while. So you got the market that's drifting sideways. You've got the sector that's drifting down. And you're telling me that this stock is going to go up 50% in the next 90 days or so? I find that super hard to believe, right? I can't really get behind one stock just outperforming everything out of nowhere like that. Now behavioral heat maps. So this is, well, remember I talked about the fear and greed, right? Right here, this is how we measure the fear and greed. And this is actually getting more fearful, not less fearful. As you can see, it went from the super ultra greedy up here to now in the moderate fear area down here. But I want to see the opposite. I want to see it where it's going out of fear and into greed, right? Because the more greedy that people get, the more people are going to be buying it. So you've got the market breadth working against you. You've got the market trend that's not conducive. You got the trend of the sector that's not very helpful, and then you've got the fear and greed of that sector also not being very helpful. Let's look at the news in this area. So we've got neutral news, financial opportunities, shooting invest in financial sectors, neutral, 2 ETFs, positive, positive. So we don't have a lot of negative news over there, which is good. And like I say, normally we'd have a analyst rating for this stock right here to show you what all the analysts are doing. But SoFi doesn't have 4 years of data, which is what we need inside of Outlier. So yeah, just on the whole, I'm not super bearish on anything in the market these days. And I'm certainly not an ultra bear like he is right here.
What's going to happen on the day of earnings? They might try to do a shakeout just like they did last quarter. And guys, here's the video right after they dropped the SoFi earnings.
They might try to do a shakeout like they did last quarter, right? Who is this they? Who is this they, that this almighty they that you feel is out there trying to get you, right? It went down 18% after earnings. It absolutely could continue down. Are you willing to say, okay, if it's down 18%, then if it goes down 50%, it's even better, right? If it goes down 75%, that's even better. That's what I'm hearing here. And if I'm a shareholder, I'm not interested in that.
This is my earnings reaction. Literally the day of earnings, we are getting smoked inside of this video right now that I'm showing you guys. We're down like 10%. The stock already went up like 5%. So it was like a 15% pullback. But just listen to the confidence inside of this video. Guys, maybe we're just looking at, delayed earnings reactions, because of, massive retail falling. We have the massive.
This sounds like justifications to me. When I watch these kind of videos where somebody's clearly a shareholder, and that's okay, but then you just lose all sense of risk control and say, it's down 10%. Don't worry about it. Go out and buy more. That is a sign to me of somebody trying to justify bad decisions.
Short interest, and shorts are just continuing to pile up on retail, early on in the, pre-market trading. But guys, I do think this stock is going to go a lot higher. I had a $16 price target on the stock for this year. After seeing that, earnings report, I have to raise my price target to $18 fair value. And I think we have an opportunity to make a big run after the elections in the next week or so. All right, guys, you saw inside of that.
Look, I gotta call a spade a spade. He was right. He was eventually right. But in the moment when a stock's down 10%, ultimately going down 18%, you really need to take a step back and say, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be so stoked on it when it's down 18%, but I could get really stoked on it when it's gone up and it's like, oh, here we go. Now we're back to new highs from above that earnings release, right? Maybe get in October versus get in and set in August or September. And you can be a lot more confident in that stock. And I think that's the real takeaway from this video is don't believe everything you hear on the internet. First off, right? Abraham Lincoln said, don't listen to everything on the internet. Everything on the internet can't be true, or whatever the old saying is, right? Whatever the old saying is. And I think that this is the case here, right? I would not be ultra bullish on anything, especially when some random YouTuber is saying, when something's down 18%, you got to buy more because it can only go up from here. That's not really how it works, right? Let's look at something like Peloton, right? Peloton, at some point it was down 18%, but at this point it's down like 1,000,000%, right? Let's look at something like AMC. Okay, at one point it was down 18%, but now it's down like 99.9%. Okay, don't just jump into anything blindly, especially when it's down. Okay, that's a real recipe for disaster.
That video, I said I believe the SoFi stock is going a lot higher after that Q3 earnings, and I raised my price target from 16.
It's already down 10%, and you're like, it's going to go higher. I'm going to raise my price target. Okay.
To $18 while the stock is getting smoked 10.5%. Where does the confidence come from?
All right. When the stock is down at $10, no, I'm not buying jack, right? If the stock is getting murdered and it's down to the $10 level, which I don't know when that was, because around here it was at 7.5, whatever. Was it wasn't even close to that? I don't know. But if a stock's getting murdered down here, right, your best bet, or at least what I would do, is to just sit tight and wait, right? It didn't take long for it to recover. It really didn't. But when you look at the moving averages that we talked about here, the 10, 20, 50, when they all stacked on top of each other, you've got a bullish trend, right? So you could get out when it closes under that 10, and you could wait for the three moving averages to stack back on top of each other. And then it just rocket shipped, right? Because the math behind it is that stacked on top of each other like this right here, that is a bullish trend, meaning price is going up. At some point, it will flatten out and it will go down. We know that. It's just that's how stocks work. Doesn't mean it's going to go down a ton, but when these are all stacked in one direction, it makes it a lot easier to determine the direction of the trend. However, on the other end of it, when a stock is stacked the opposite direction, it's clearly in a downtrend. And nobody can convince me otherwise that back in December of 2023, when it was at $10, and then all year long it sold off and got to a low of $6, down 40%, that's a good value, right? That's the right time to buy the stock. Or you could wait for a moment till those moving averages cross back, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, and then you're off to the races, right? Because it's very easy if you look on a chart. Mark me on this. It's very easy when you look on a chart and you can see the moving averages, just those three, short, intermediate, and long, stacked in one direction. That's how the trend of the stock is going. So let's do this. Let's rank this video here. From 1 to 10, nobody gets a 7. I'm going to give this, so he's saying it's going to go up 50% in the next 90 days, and it's going to triple in the next year. Look, like I say, he could be right, but he's so blinded by his bullishness, that I don't think he has any sort of risk control. And because of that, I would rank it a 2. I would rank this video a 2 out of 10. Painful. Because if you're holding if you're holding stock in SoFi and it does go down and it does get taken out and it does have another 18% sell off and it doesn't hit those targets like he's saying, that's going to be ultra painful. So let me know what you're trading in the chat. I'd love to hear from that, right? I'd love to hear from you, and come back tomorrow to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team here in the Outlier Trading Room. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk soon.